sitting silently on the west bank of the Nile, greeting the rising sun for thousands of years, is a watcher carved from a single limestone, known as the Sphinx. Guarding the Egyptian pyramids and the great temples of Giza, the enigmatic sentinel is one of the most intriguing sculptures in human history, both in scale and in mystery. What secret has the Sphinx sworn to protect? Thanks to the work of 3 brilliant scholars, the Rosetta Stone, the key to understanding Demotic script, was decoded. This has opened the door towards uncovering the mysteries of Giza. But what happens if these words were decoded further using another method? Is there more we can learn by deconstructing the words on the cellular level using a sacred language created by the gods? For the first time, a whole new layer of meaning emerges from their 1,000-year slumber. Our Rosetta Stone is the language called Sanskrit, and within it lies the code of the gods. What you are about to witness is groundbreaking evidence that the ancient Egyptian language was directly linked to the divine language of Sanskrit. There is a reason why Sanskrit is known as the mother of languages and the language of God. It is the oldest language in the world because it is timeless and not created by man. Not only is it a technical language, but it is also a sacred liturgical language that built the foundations of modern consciousness, divinity, and spirituality. Sanskrit operates on energy encoded into the DNA of syllables called roots and seeds. So, words that sound alike share the same roots and the same vibrational energy and cymatophonic signature, or CPS. Very much like a modern zip file, energy is released when its code is activated. Let me remind you what the Bible says in John chapter 1, and I quote, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." That's why words are so powerful, because God is identified with words and sound. So, without further ado, let us examine Giza. So here we can see that in Arabic, Giza is simply a description of the location, whereas in Sanskrit, the meaning is revealed in very high detail and specificity. For the first time, we discover the true reason why Giza was ordained with this name. So the word Gesh and Geshate in Sanskrit is related to Gishpati, which means learned man. So in Sanskrit, Giza means an invitation, a statement, and a challenge to learned men to hasten and seek answers to obtain the knowledge of the highest order. In other words, enlightenment and illumination. If you do an online search for the etymology of pyramid, what you're going to get is guesswork. A lot of speculation from the so-called authorities. Today, we are going to set the record straight with a clear and concise definition using Sanskrit, the code of the gods. The word pyramid finds its true roots in the Sanskrit words paramita and paramita. So the name means attaining perfection beyond the physical. It is very clear what the word is trying to say. It'll get even clearer by the time we're done with this presentation. Here are some things to consider. the relationship between the Giza pyramids and the constellation Orion is self-evident. In Greek, the word Orion is pronounced Orion. Orion is a transliteration of Aryan and Arianti, which is also the root of the word Orient, finding true north. Sanskrit predates all human languages, including Tamil. It is the basis of pre-Pharaonic language, as will be proven in this presentation. Vedic literature is older than Latin and Greek. Lord Shiva is praised as a hunter in all Vedic literature. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are identified with Arudra in the constellation Orion. Lord Rama, the Aryan king, is the seventh avatar of Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva's trident is known as Trishula. This literally means 3 sharp spikes. This will be extremely relevant when we reveal the message of the Sphinx. This knowledge symbolizes transcendence, which is exactly what the words Giza and pyramid mean when decoded in Sanskrit. The ancient Egyptians called the pyramids Mr. What better way to describe the pyramids than by associating it with the sharp and pointed beak of an owl, similar to a shulla or spike, as discussed in the previous section. In Sanskrit, the dhatu or root mr is related to the energy of death and destruction. This can be seen in words like mara, mur, and mrnati. As far as I know, there is no other language that can decode mr the way Sanskrit can. Once again, we see a clear association with Shiva, the destroyer. If you notice, the root mr is contained in the words murder, morgue, and mortal. In French, mort. In Spanish, muerto. In Japanese, shtemere. And in Russian, mертвых, demonstrating the universality and omnipresence of Sanskrit, the code of the gods. So if Giza and pyramid mean transcendence and mr means death, what message can we find embedded in the Sphinx? The Sphinx is aligned with the constellation Leo. Therefore, it makes logical sense that the Sphinx is a lion, or in this case, a lioness. That's right, the Sphinx is a she, and she is the goddess Makhet. Makhet originally had the head of a lioness and was recarved in the Old Kingdom era of Egypt into what it is today. Hore Makhet, as she is properly called by the ancient Egyptians, translates to Horus in the horizon. That's why she faces the dawn and the early morning sun. Hore comes from Hari, which means the sun, Shiva, the highest, the source of life and remover of obstacles. Makhet comes from Mahita, might. This also means honor, celebrate, proper, ancestors, and the trident of Shiva. Since the Sphinx guards the pyramids and is located in Giza, putting together the meanings of Geshe, Paramita, and Hari Mahita, we get the hidden message of the Sphinx.
O ye learned men, hasten to seek the highest. I, the lioness, bear witness. Worship the great ancestors, transcend death, and glorify the majestic three-pointed spear of Shiva, by which all measures are set.
The three-pointed spear of Shiva is represented by the 3 pyramids of Giza and the 3 stars of Orion's belt. Now, Shiva is known as Kaleshvara, the destroyer and master of time. Time is Kala. Adding Mahita gives us Kala Mahita. Here we can recognize the word calamity, a disaster awaiting those who ignore the message of Hari Mahita and Shiva, the destroyer. The Sphinx is similar to the Lamassu of ancient Mesopotamia. Decoded in Sanskrit, Lamassu signifies delight in the vital breath, the spirit, and the non-physical realm. So in essence, both the Sphinx and the Lamassu are testimonials to the power of God and the power of creation, reigning supreme over life, death, time, and beyond. The Trident of Shiva is 3-pronged, representing among other things the keys to life and the human operating system, the Triguna, the Trimurti, the Tridosha, the Triloki, and Trikala, the triad of past, present, and future. So the Sphinx is not a symbol of pride and greatness, but a symbol of knowledge, service, and devotion, and is meant to act as both a reminder and inspiration for the entire human race to sacrifice and struggle to understand the highest wisdom. Her unceasing loyalty has remained for thousands of years and will continue to exist long after human bodies crumble into dust. The Sphinx is also a great warning that calamity shall befall those who fail to understand and follow the message. And thus is the great commandment of the Sphinx. So, let me ask you, now that you know, what comes next? I hope you learned from this presentation, and with that, I wish you peace and enlightenment. Seek, and you shall find.